In this episode of Home Theater Geeks, I talk about the latest AVS Forum Home Theater of the Month. This one is a replication of a Dolby Cinema. Very cool. So stick around.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Hey there, Scott Wilkinson here, the Home Theater Geek. In this episode, I'm going to profile another Home Theater of the Month from AVS Forum. This one is the 13th of 2024, so it's the bonus Home Theater of the Month. We like to say we make it a baker's dozen. And in this case, it's really very cool. Of course, they're all really cool, but this one seeks to replicate a Dolby Cinema in a home theater. Now, Dolby Cinema is my favorite commercial cinema format. I like it better than IMAX, certainly better than a conventional commercial cinema. And so does Terence. He finds it to be the most enjoyable commercial cinema experience as well. And so he wanted to replicate that in his home theater. Now, he built a house in, I think it's called Brazelton, Georgia. I think that's how you pronounce it. And he built it from scratch. He built the whole home, he had it built, and he included in the plans a basement home theater. So he could start from scratch. He didn't have to work with any existing room and try to figure out how to make do with this or that or windows or obstructions. He just built it from scratch, and that's really the best way to go. So I wanted to start by showing you a picture of the final room. And we're going to show a few pictures of the installation and how it went. But check this out. The finished room uses blue LED strip lighting, just like Dolby specifies for its commercial cinemas. Now, interestingly, most Dolby cinemas are in AMC cineplexes, and they chose to use red lighting. And I don't know why that is, because I know Dolby specifies blue. And in a couple of the Dolby cinemas I've been in that aren't in AMC cineplexes, the lighting is blue. It's this blue LED strip lighting. And so Terence went ahead and did it the way Dolby specified, and it really just looks great. Now, as I said before, he framed the room in his basement. And we can see a picture of that framing process, or at least as it was in process. Here you see the riser in the back for the second row of seats. First row of seats would be between those two little platforms on either side. And you can also see, in particular, I want to point out the wall in the back of the seating area. You can see the framing there. That is a false wall. It's not the end of the room, but it's there for a couple of reasons. One is to provide a bass trap. So it's going to get stuffed with insulation and covered with acoustic material, duct board, actually. And that is going to act as a bass trap, which means it's going to absorb some of the bass frequencies and prevent them from reflecting back into the room. We can see that in the next picture. Some progress. Here we see that all the framing is filled with insulation, which serves two purposes, really. One is sound isolation, keeping the sound inside from it leaking out and the sounds from the outside from leaking in. And it also serves as some damping to the internal sounds. In the next one, we can see the drywall is up, and that's something that I personally wouldn't tackle. I would pay somebody to do that, and I believe he did in this case. His whole house is being built, so the builder went ahead and did that. Although he himself specified how he wanted this room to be. And notice again in the back, the false wall we still see the insulation. The next picture it has a closer view of it. And you can see there's an opening, a rectangular opening at the top, which is where the projector will shoot through that opening and onto the screen. And also, I want you to notice to the right of this picture, that wall does not extend all the way to the side wall. In fact, that is the entrance into the theater from the outside, which is exactly like a Dolby Cinema does it. You walk into the outer door and you have to walk around the wall to get into the actual theater. We're going to see more pictures of that in a minute. But before we do, I wanted to show you the screen wall, which is where the screen goes. And I like showing how home theater owners have set up their front, left, and right and center speakers, which you can see here, along with two subwoofers. Those left, center, and right LCR speakers are Triad gold in-wall speakers. Triad is a very well-respected maker of speakers, in particular in-walls, and they basically come in three levels: gold, silver, and bronze. And the gold series is the top of the line, as you might expect. And he's got three of them there behind the screen wall. They're actually in the wall, thus he's using in-wall speakers. The two subwoofers that you see down there are from a company called GSG, and they're called BTS subwoofers, behind the screen. And those drivers are 21 inches in diameter, which is mighty big. So it makes a beautiful low bass sound along with those LCR Triad speakers. So those speakers and all the ones around the room are driven by amplifiers that sit in a very tall equipment rack outside the theater. And as you can see here, that is one tall equipment rack. And there's a lot of gear in there, including a Kaleidoscape Strato C player and a TerraPrime server with 8 terabytes of storage. And that's where most of his movies are stored. He also has a Panasonic DP UB9000 UHD Blu-ray player, so he can actually play physical discs, although the Kaleidoscape plays digital files with the same quality as a real Blu-ray. So now the Kaleidoscape is a pretty expensive system, but it stores everything on a big server, and you can search for things and it starts right up. It's really quite wonderful. But in case you can't get a Kaleidoscape title that you want and you have it on an actual physical disc, Terence can play it on the Panasonic UHD Blu-ray player. His surround processor is a JBL Synthesis SDP55, very high end. He has Summit and Crown power amps and a Lumagen Radiance Pro video processor. The projector is a JVC NZ9, I believe. We'll see a picture of that a little bit later. But it's very high-end equipment all the way around. So in the next graphic, we can see his lobby. And he made it look just like a commercial Dolby Cinema lobby, including an electronic movie poster on the left, which is from a company called Digital Movie Boards. And it basically shows whatever is playing in the theater or rotates around different movie posters. Very, very cool. He also had custom made that Dolby Home Cinema sign with the Dolby logo. And he even put a number on the entrance door as if he were in a multiplex, which he's not. It's the only movie theater in that building, his home. But, that kind of gives it more of a sense of you're in a commercial cinema. Now, once you go in that door, you will see that the entrance leads you around the back wall and into the theater. As you can see here, which is, again, just like a Dolby Cinema. That's exactly how they look and how they how they are designed. That trash can in the corner, I think, is really cool too. So the next graphic shows you what it looks like when you enter the room, and it's fabulous. It's just great. We'll see some other pictures here of the inside of the room as well. The next one shows the 6 Seatcraft Apex theater seats in 2 rows of 3. In this particular image, the blue strip lighting is not turned on, which of course you wouldn't want it turned on during a movie, but and you can turn it off. The front 3 seats in these 2 rows have Croson tactile transducers, which I've talked about before. Basically, they're little speaker transducers that are mounted in the seats, and when you get a low frequency rumble from an explosion or a rocket taking off or a dinosaur roaring or whatever, it actually rumbles your seat and jiggles you around. Now, I personally find that to be quite unnerving, and so I don't like it. But a lot of people do, and if you do, then it's great. You should go for it. I tell the story going to a CEDIA show one time, and Runco was showing their latest stuff, and they had these tactile transducers in their seat in their demo room. And I sat down, and it started rumbling, and I immediately got up and left. And they said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I don't like those." So later in the show, I came back, and they said, "We took one out just for you." That was service. I liked that. That was very good. Okay, we have a picture of the screen, which I wanted to tell you a little bit about. It's from a company called XY Screens. The material is called SoundMax 4K. It's 160 inches diagonal, or in other words, about 12 feet wide, in a 2.35:1 aspect ratio. And it's a woven, acoustically transparent material. So those speakers we saw earlier are sitting behind that screen. And that's really the best way to do front sound, is to have the speakers actually behind the screen, because then the sound, as something moves from right to left or left to right, you can hear the sound coming from the object that's making that sound, and they're associated visually very closely, and that really makes a great effect. It's very important to immersiveness. Okay, the next picture, we show this blue LED lighting again, and that just is fabulous. It looks so good. And the next graphic is a close-up of that back wall with an opening for the projector. And I wanted to mention that projector is also really, really nice. It's a JVC DLA NZ8. And you can also see the exit sign in this picture. And interestingly, somebody in the comments on the article for this Home Theater of the Month said, "Well, I really hate exit signs in theaters because they're so bright. They throw light into the room that you don't want." And Terence said, "Not to worry. This is not a normal exit sign. It's a glow-in-the-dark exit sign, so it's not nearly as bright." But again, it lends a touch of commercial cinema to the theater, which I think is great. Okay, and the last graphic, just show you one more picture from this theater. It just looks so good. I would love to watch a movie in this room. So the next time I get to Brazelton, Georgia, I will give Terence a call and maybe go check it out. The link, the URL for the article, we'll put in the show notes, so you can go read that article and get even more detail than I've given you here. But I hope you've enjoyed it, because I certainly did. I enjoyed writing it up. I enjoyed seeing all the pictures and knowing that somebody else, just like me, prefers Dolby Cinema over any other commercial source, and went so far as to create it in his theater. Oh, and how much did it cost? Well, it wasn't cheap. He had contractors do a lot of that basic work. He claims that he spent around $60,000 on this home theater, which, a number of people who have commented on the article say, wow, that really isn't too bad for what it is. And I have to agree. So, more power to him. And that's a lot of money. I won't pretend to think it's not. But if you've got it and you've got the opportunity to build something exactly as you want it, it's money well spent, in my opinion. So congratulations to Terence. And I know you will enjoy that room for years to come. So in many episodes of Home Theater Geeks, I answer listener questions. So I hope you will send them along to htg@twit.tv. Now, if you want to watch the video, that's now very easy because all of our shows are on YouTube and free to watch with advertising. Now, if you want to get ad-free shows, then just join the club. All you have to do is head to twit.tv/clubtwit to sign up. So until next time, geek out.
Hey, buddy, are you a geek? Are you a tech enthusiast? Then I would love to invite you to join a tech community like no other. You can gain exclusive access to our incomparable quality tech content for just $7 a month with Club Twit. As a member, you'll enjoy all Twit TV shows ad-free, plus access private video feeds for insider shows like iOS Today, Home Theater Geeks, and so much more. Dive into the members-only Twit Plus bonus feed for behind-the-scenes content, club discussions, and special events. But here's the best perk. Join our incredible Discord community to watch live show productions, chat with hosts, and participate in exclusive members-only activities. It's your backstage pass to the world of Twit. Whether you're a tech enthusiast or a lifelong learner, Club Twit elevates your knowledge while entertaining your interests. Get 2 weeks free when you sign up now for $7 a month and unlock unparalleled access at twit.tv/clubtwit. That's twit.tv/clubtwit. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you and welcome to the club.